Hey guys, Swansea Batcave here with this time EDH, a commander deck tech, or at least how I build it. So I started a sliver deck about a year ago now. I think it's okay, but I realised that I haven't stuck in any of the new cards that I've got, or the other sets of commander book like decks that I've bought any of the good cards from there. So I thought we'd go through it and yeah, we'll see what we come out with. So over here we have a deck of interesting cards from other sets, and at the back there are two binders which I'll be looking through, and in front of us is the sliver deck as it currently is. So we have instants, sorceries, artifacts, other creatures, enchantments, our commander, slivers, and land. Let's see if I bring this back to get it all in shot. There we go. Doesn't want to stay up. Nope. Okay. No, still don't want to. No, we'll just. Okay. There's a screw tightener. Right. So. No. Right. Not. It's just gonna. No, there we go. Right. So, look through the. I'll show you what's in it first. So the commander is Sliver Overlord. Search your library for a sliver, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle and gain control of target sliver. So, yep, get slivers we need, and takes control of slivers, which is something that the other cards will show us in a second. So that's the commander. We'll go to the other types of cards. Yes, these are the other creatures. They're mostly shapeshifters, so when you cast a spell you can put a +1 on it, so it's just going to get out quickly, become a sliver, and pump itself up. We have Amoeboid Changeling. So this is what the Sliver Overlord revolves around, sort of, some of it anyway. So target creature gains all creature types, which includes Sliver, and target creature loses all creature types. There you go. And it's a sliver in itself because it's a shapeshifter. Have Clone. You may choose a creature in play. If you do, Clone comes into play as a copy of that creature. So that's a way of duplicating some cool slivers. We have Eternal Witness, because that gets something from the graveyard to our hand. It's a nice cheap card. We have a Chameleon Colossus as protection from black. Yeah. So you pay, and it gets +X, where X is its power. So you can essentially keep playing that. It'll keep doubling, so it'll go to 8, 16, and so on. So it's quite cool. And it's a big drop card. And then Clever Impersonator. So it comes into a copy of a non-permanent on the battlefield. So it's the same as Clone, essentially, for the same cost. So that's going to be quite cool. So that's a way of duplicating slivers, or just duplicating offensive creatures my opponent has. Let's see, we have some instants here. We have Mystic Confluence. I think it will actually focus on it. Yep. So choose 3. You may choose the same one more than twice. So counter target spell, return target creature to its hand, draw a card. So you can do all 3. You can do 1. It's a nice little versatile card. Utter End. Exile target non-land permanent. So that's going to exile some things that we don't want. Brainstorm. Draw 3 cards. Put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So that's quite cool. And then Fact or Fiction. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put one in your hand, other into the graveyard. It's going to be a nice way to get some stuff into hand. Make it a difficult choice for my opponent. Opponents, should I say. And then we have some... So search your library for a card, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. So it's a normal tutor. Flesh and Blood from... is one of the Gate expansions, I can't remember. Ravnica? So you can play both or 1. So exile target creature card from the graveyard and put counters on target creature where X is the power. Target creature you control deals damage, so it's like a nice little damage and extra. This is destroy all enchantments, it just clears the field. We have a Wrath of God, destroy everything. Bring to light, which I thought was quite nice. So because of the amount of colours in the deck, the amount of mana I'm going to be able to tap is usually going to be all 5 colours. So yeah, search your library for anything with converted mana cost less than to equal the number of coloured manas. Exile that card, shuffle your library. Yeah. Then you may cast it without paying its mana costs. That's very cool. So that's basically gets out everything in the deck, I'm pretty sure. Every sliver in the deck, or every spell. Read the bones, scry 2, draw 2, lose 2 life. So it's a nice little way to get some draw power. Take an extra turn, and then exile it, awaken, and it also becomes a 6/6 land. Yes. Yeah, that's quite cool. So it's just going to be a nice way to get an extra turn for the win. Return all non-land permanents with converted mana cost of X. That's where you get stuff back off the field. These are just basically board wipes. Tragic Arrogance. For each player, you choose from among them the permanents that player controls, an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, a planeswalker. Then each player sacrifices all other non-permanents. And Chroma's Vengeance. Destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. And it's a cycle, in case I don't need a board wipe. So there are the sorceries. I have, I think, 2 enchantments, and we have Illusionary Gains. You control enchanted creature. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, attach it to that creature. So it's just basically going to grab that one, they play another card, you grab it, and so on. And Exploration, which I pulled out of a... I can't remember what pack it was. It's one of my pack opening videos, though. You may play an additional land, which is really helpful. Very cool card. We'll look at the artifacts as well. And so this is a mix of artifact creatures, artifacts. We have a snow artifact. So when it enters the battlefield, it enters tapped. Choose a colour. So it's basically utility. Land, Lightning Greaves has haste and shroud. And equip cost is 0. This is going to be quite cool. I pulled this out of a really old Odyssey pack opening. I think it was one of the videos I put up. So put the top card of your library onto the graveyard. For each colour you gain, add 1 mana of that colour. So it's quite cool. It's a nice way to, if there's something on the battlefield I don't really need, then I can clear it out. That makes all of my slivers cheaper to cast. There's this Incubator. Obelisk of Grixis, because it gives me 3 of the 5 mana colours. We have a Darksteel Ingot, add 1 mana of any colour to your mana pool. So again, Explorer Scope. Whenever a quick creature attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you can put it on the battlefield. So it's an extra way to get some land out. Burnished Heart, sacrifice it, search 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped. And this one is going to be amazing. So, it's Bow of Nylea. Nylea. Attacking creatures have Death Touch, so it's all of the slivers Death Touch. Okay, so you can tap, put +1 counter on target creature, or it deals 2 damage to target creature with flying, or you gain 3 life, or put up to 4 target cards from your graveyard to the bottom of your library. So it makes them easier to search out for things that have died, so it's a very cool little card. And the addition of Death Touch to every sliver is going to be amazing. So that is all of those. We'll leave the slivers to last, and I will look at the lands that I put in, because there's quite a few non-standard lands. There we go. Okay, so all of the other lands in this, the basic lands, are snow lands, because snow-covered lands rather, because they're just so cool and pretty. But right, so look at the. Let's see, we'll grab a bunch of these. So we have pretty much it's every dual land that I have. So we have the. I wonder if I put these in order. Oh, I have, yeah. So we have the Vivid lands. So you get basically 2 goes at the Vivid lands being any mana or them being standard mana. So it's quite cool. We have a Windswept Heath. So pay 1 life, search it, search out a basic land. Which is quite cool. Evolving Wilds for searching out some basic land. Rocky Tar Pit. Sacrifice it, search out a basic land. Grixis Panorama. Add 1 to your mana pool. Sacrifice it, search for basic land. So there's some searching going on in there. We have a Temple Garden. So enters the play 2 life. If you don't, enters battlefield tapped. So that. Hallowed Fountain, the same. Smouldering Marsh. So it's a dual land. We have Canopy Vista, again it's a dual land. Prairie Stream, same dual land. We have a Golgari Rot Farm. Return a land you control to its hand, it's a dual land again. And the same with this one, Boris Garrison. So land you control its hand, and it's a dual land in that sense. Same with Azorius Chancery. And is it Boilerworks? I think that pretty much covers all the types there. And we have stuff like Rugged Hinterlands then, gives you life when you play it. Same as Swiftwater Cliffs. Temple of Malice, so you get to scry when it comes in tapped. We have a Blood Crypt, so again that's the shock land, pay 2 life, get it in as a dual land. We have another Gain Life, dual land. It's pretty much most of these are going to be dual lands that have some kind of effect. Gain Life, Gain Life, oh, Gain Life. Temple of the False Gods. Add 2 mana to your 2 to your mana pool. Activate it if you control 5 or more lands. It's a standard little thing in there. Command Tower, the staple for any commander deck. Rupture Spire, again standard. Transguild Promenade, because it does the same thing. These are all just give you any colour mana. And then there's I think these are the ones that I included because they just looked cool. So Tranquil Thicket. It's a cycle land, so if you don't need that, maybe taking that out. Rith's Grove, it's a layer, so it comes into play, sacrifice it unless you return a non-layer card, but it adds 3 mana, which is very, very cool. This one is I can't remember what they were nicknaming these, the ones that transform into creatures. So it becomes a 3/4 white elemental with reach, still a land. And Temple of Mystery. It's another scry land. So that's all the land cards. There we go. Tranquil Thicket back over there. Okay, so let's take a look at the slivers in the deck. So I've tried to include the more useful slivers. I think I used a guide from from the Mana Source YouTube channel and Tolarian University, maybe. But yes, we have Mana Weft Sliver, so it's all of our slivers become mana producers, which is great. All slivers gain +0/+1. It's not as good, but it's a nice little defense. Striking Sliver, everything gains first strike. These are pretty much, that's all there's 2 1-drops there, and there's a 2-drop. Gemhide, again, so that's another way of generating mana. All creatures get +1. We have all slivers have shadow. They can block or be blocked only by creatures with shadow, which is quite cool. So you've got unblockable slivers there. We have a 2-headed sliver. A creature can be blocked to get 2 or more creatures, so I think that's Menace now. But yeah, that's another 2-drop. And we have the Fury Sliver, everything gets double strike. Nice big drop there. Pulmonic. All slivers have flying, and if it be put into the graveyard, you'll be put it in the top of your library instead. That's quite cool. Screeching Sliver. So all slivers have target player puts the top card of his library into the graveyard. So it has some uses, but it's in there. Megagantic Sliver. Everything gets +3/+3, and that's going to be one of the big drops near the end. Homing Sliver. Each sliver card in each player's hand has Sliver Cycle. Discard this card, search your library for a sliver card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So it's going to be really useful to basically mean that if you have dead slivers in your hand, you can just cycle them out for ones you want. So that's going to be cool. That is a 3-drop. Thorncaster. When this creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So once everything has that, it's going to be quite cool. So that is a 5. We go. Harmonic Sliver. All slivers have, when this creature comes into play, destroy target artifact. So basically it's going to start clearing out the field, and that is a 3-drop. Winged Sliver, everything is flying, so they're going to be pretty much unblockable. Brood Sliver. So whenever you deal combat damage to a player, its controller puts a +1. So you basically, once you start doing some damage, if you've got everything with flying, you're going to start putting more slivers onto the battlefield. And that's another 5-drop. The 2 muscle, everything gains +1, which is very, very useful for the small slivers. Everything has first strike. Everything has haste. All slivers are unaffected by summoning sickness. Another 2-drop. So everything's quite small, pretty much. Oh, there's a sorcery in here. Hello. Right, so there's a sorcery. Rude Awakening. Untap all lands you control, or until the end of the turn, lands become 2/2. So it's probably going to be untap all lands that I control. Where is the sorcery bucket? There it is. Psionic Sliver. All slivers deals 2 damage to target creature or player and 3 damage to itself. So that's going to be pretty much like if you want to end the game, if you want to try and take somebody out, you can just tap everything. And if it's got some buffs on it and it's bigger than 3, then it's going to stay alive. That is another 5-drop. Might Sliver. Everything gets +2. Another 5-drop. Blur Sliver. Everything has haste. So there's a couple of duplicates of certain cards just because you don't want just one of each. I mean, you have to have one of each, but I mean the effects. Go and watch a Sliver, +2. That is a 4-drop. Leeching Sliver. So whenever a Sliver you control attacks, the opponent loses 1 life. So that's amazing. Let's stick that down here with another 2 drops. And this one, Virulent Sliver. Everything has poisonous 1. So that's going to start spamming poison counters out as well, and that's a 1-drop. So that's what I have so far in the deck. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 1-drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 2-drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5s, and 2 6s. So the mana curve is quite... it's there, you know, but we're going to be producing a lot of mana to get a lot of slivers out. So what we'll do, we'll stack these back up in order, and then we'll take a look at the slightly useful cards and see if there's anything we can swap out for enchantments. I think the monster pile, the creature pile is okay, but let's take a look at what I've got here. So I think Temple of the False Gods is in there already. Reliquary Tower isn't in there, and it's going to give us no maximum hand size, which I'm not sure is useful. Is it Guildgate? Nah, not so good. Evolving Wilds is in there. You may play the exiled card. Oh, okay, right, so Hideaway. When this land enters the battlefield tapped, when it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Exile 1 face down, and put the rest at the bottom. So, 1, tap. You may play the exile card without paying its mana cost if its opponent was dealt 7 or more damage this turn. So that's quite useful. We'll put that in the maybe pile. We have Swiftwater Cliffs. Not sure if that's already in there. I think it might be. Rogue's Passage. Target creature can't be blocked. Is it Boilerworks? Is in there already. Steam Augury is a little bit like Fact or Fiction, and it costs the same amount. 2 piles. That might be interesting to search stuff out. If you would draw a card, draw 2 cards. See a Sundial. Whenever a land enters under your control, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. I'm not sure if that's going to be useful. Comet Storm. Multi-kicker. No, that's just some damage. Epic Experiment. Exile top X cards. For each instant, a sorcery card. Nope. Nope. I've just grabbed a couple of useful looking ones. I think that's, yeah, Mystic Confluence is already in there. Sealed of the Guild Pact. Each spell you cast costs 1 less to cast for each of those chosen colours in it. That's going to be quite interesting because there's a lot of the slivers have 1 colour. Well, 1 of the colours. Maybe that's going to go in the maybe pile. Gigantoplasm. Copy of any creature on the battlefield except it gains this creature's base power is toughness XX. That would be interesting to copy a sliver. Preordained, scry 2, then draw a card. I'm not sure the Fact or Fiction's in there. Brainstorm is in there. Bluster Squall. Tap target creature you don't control, or tap every creature you don't control. That's quite interesting, that's useful. Vivid Crag is in there. Blasted Landscape. Drifting Meadow. Yeah, no, it's another cycle land. Evolving Wilds, I'm not sure it's in there. Is it? No. Forgotten Cave, it's a cycle land. Secluded Steppe, cycle land. Smouldering Crater, cycle land. Transmographic Expanse, which is like basic land card, put it into your library, battlefield tapped. So that one I don't think is in there, and that's a useful card. Sol Ring is definitely not in there, needs to be. Felwar Stone. Okay. Warstorm Surge. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. It's a very expensive card. Nope. Fiery Confluence. That deals some damage. No. Ancient Amphitheatre. Nope. Giant. Keyword. Thought Vessel. No maximum hand size, but again we've established don't really need that. Worn Power Stone. No. Blade of Selves. Now this one's quite cool. So an equipped creature has Myriad, which is, it came out in I think the 2014 set. When it attacks, for each opponent other than defending player, you may put a token that's a copy of the creature onto play, tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker. Exile the tokens. So that's very cool. So if you've got something that's, well, basically it's gonna be very interesting to play. That card is 2-drop, and then it's a 4/2. I wonder what it would work with. What sliver? Pretty much any of the slivers attacking. Yeah, once they've got an ability out. So one of the larger slivers. Command Tower, which I think is already in there. Wildscarred Crag. Gains 1 life. I'm not sure if that's in there. That's a nice dual land. Not Forgotten. Put target card from a graveyard onto the top or bottom of his owner's deck. And Highland Lake. Battlefield tapped. Double. No. Okay, so we've got some cards out of that. Let's have a look at the next set. So we've got those there. Move these over here, and we've got some more to look through. So we have Forgotten Creation. Beginning of the upkeep, you may discard all cards in your hand. But no, it doesn't really fit. Lightning Axe. Now, it's nice. It's a 1/4/5 damage, so it can blow up something, so it's going to be a consideration. Devil's Playground. No. Oh, right, this is just a bunch of rares that I pulled from the recent box openings, and thought I'd have a look and see which ones might be interested to use. Okay, so that one's quite cool. I'll consider that one. Nope. 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 Non-token creatures you control get +1 and have vigilance. Now that is useful. Okay, choose a colour of a card in your graveyard and 1 mana of that colour. Yeah. Nope. Stone Quarry. Nope. Kozilek has literally no place in there. Thing in the Ice. Nope. Now the Bident of Thassa. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, you may draw a card. Nah. Nope. Goblin Heel Cutter. No. From Under the Floorboards. No. Although that might be going the black deck. Again, black deck. Angel of Deliverance. Nope. Fortified Village, which is what I think we've got a copy of that already in the maybe pile. Declaration in Stone. Exile target creature and all other creatures its controller controls. It's the same name. Player investigates for each token. Nope. Okay. Flamebait Angel. Fevered Visions. This is a 3-drop. Beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards, it deals 2 damage. I suppose that's interesting. For extra draw, we have Silverfair Partisan, Ulvenwald Hydra. Nope. Traverse the Ulvenwald. Search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. If there are 4 or more cards amongst types in your graveyard, instead search your library for a creature or land, reveal it, and put it in your hand. That's quite nice as a 1-drop. The Dread Defiler. Nope. 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 Search your library for a Planeswalker. Right, Ruins of Oran Reef. +1 counter on target colourless. Nope. Into the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card, land or planeswalker from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest at the bottom. You may spend mana as though it were the mana of any colour to cast Planeswalkers. Oh, so there's no Planeswalkers in there. Seagate Wreckage, no. And Survive the Night. Target creature gets +1 and gains indestructible until the end of the turn. No. Okay, so we've gone through the maybe cards. We've got a nice little pile of stuff that might go in. Put that there. Right, so that's the deck so far, and the cards that we might stick into it. I realise this is a very long video. So I'm going to cut it short here, and we'll make another video where I've moved the cards around, looked through my folders, and we'll see what we've come out with as a new deck. But if you've watched this far, thanks for watching. I didn't realise it's so long. I might actually split this into 2 halves. Maybe that's easier. Yes, I'm going to split this into 2 halves. So, right, it'll be a three-part series. But thanks for watching, guys. And as usual, like, subscribe, comment if there's anything sliver-wise. I know there's stuff missing, but the rest of it, if there's any other useful cards that you think I can get, I don't want to spend loads of money. But if there's other cards you think that would go in from the new sets, any commons, anything that I've missed, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.